It is Sunday, the 9th of March, 2025. My name is Pigeon Rose, and this is my song of the day. Here we are at the end of another week, at the end of our spring week to be specific. When I thought of doing the season weeks idea, apart from doing all the Andrew Wongs, there was like one or two songs for each season that popped immediately to mind. For winter, I knew I was going to do Set the Fire to the Third Bar. For summer, I knew I was going to do Mr. Blue Sky, For autumn, I wasn't really sure actually. Autumn's a harder one. But for spring, the first thing to mind was Passionflower by Jon Gomm. And that is what we are doing today, in fact. Jon Gomm is an English musician. He's from Blackpool, and he is well known for his percussive playing. So I don't know if you've ever seen this. There's this particular style of guitar playing I feel like was really big like 10 years ago or more even, where people play the guitar like one would normally play the guitar, but also do a lot of hammer-ons and do a lot of like playing the guitar strings by tapping them and like hitting the body of the guitar to make drum sounds and all this sort of stuff. And Jon Gomm is a master at that. Not only that, well, I don't want to tell you everything because I want you to kind of experience it for the first time in the song because it's kind of incredible. I discovered this video, I think my friend showed it to me when I was in Galway, so like 10, 11 years ago now. And it captivated me immediately and it's stuck with me ever since. There's a particular video of him performing it on his YouTube channel. Now, the studio version, released on the album, is still also very good. Personally, I just slightly prefer the YouTube version because it's the version I'm more familiar with, and also you get to watch him do the impressive shit because that's a big part of the charm of the song, but it's also just a great song. So whichever version you want to go with, although I would suggest YouTube, even if you can't watch it, just pull up that version to listen to it. Let's go listen to it now and then come back in a few minutes and talk about it. And that was Passionflower by Jon Gomm. Ah, man, I love that song. So, what I didn't want to spoil before we listened was he doesn't just do the percussive guitar thing. He also, plays with the tuning of the strings. Most evident in the main melody of the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And he's tuning the guitar strings. He's going do-do-do-do. And that's him actually turning the knob and changing the tightness of the string, which is wild. He's not the only person to ever do it, but he's an expert at doing it very precisely because it sounds consistent, throughout the song, and it's something he does a lot during the song. There's also so many moments I love where during the "we can't see" bit where he just strums the guitar and lets it resonate and just he's doing the percussion for a few beats, and I love that because the sound from the strings is still kind of resonating as he beats the guitar and kind of affecting the waves. It's really cool. I love the way this song is made, and I love how the start and end of it are just him showing off. Anyway, in terms of the song itself, well, why did I pick it for spring? Well, obviously it's called Passionflower, which is a type of flower. Not a type of flower I was actually particularly familiar with. Even knowing this song, I didn't actually look up what a passionflower was, but it is a genus of about 550 species of flowering plants, the type genus of the family Passifloraceae. So that's fun. They're weird looking plants is what they are. The purple passionflower is kind of the one that you would be most familiar with, and it's a weird ass looking plant. Looks like a toy, or it looks like it's being noodled, like the bit in Loki. Anyway. The actual inspiration for this song, as Jon Gomm said, this song is about a plant I grew in my 10 feet square backyard in the Leeds inner city. I put the seeds in a tiny tub, but it grew like a Roald Dahl story until it took over the whole yard. Then one day the sun shone extra hard and 100 flowers all went pop. It was amazing, so I wrote a song for it. And that's such a lovely, nature is so interesting, and it's so interesting when things like that just kind of happen, because he wanted to grow some little plants in a tub, and they ended up growing all over the garden, and then they all just, bloomed at the same time, and it's such a lovely image. And what I love about this song is that he takes that and makes it, sort of a metaphor for people who feel small in the world, right? And these lyrics have stuck with me for a long time. So let's go through them, shall we? Born in your tiny prison cell, 1,000,000 times smaller than you are, one single drop and you're risen up, afraid of the dark. So that first bit, born in your tiny prison cell, well, the prison cell is the tub that he put the seeds in, but also for a person, it's your body, 1,000,000 times smaller than you are, you feel restricted, but you can be so much bigger once you kind of realize that. One single drop and you're risen up, up, afraid of the dark. So that's, the single drop being like the thing that makes you grow. In the case of the actual flowers, it was actual water. He presumably watered his plants. But for people, it's some little bit of hope, some little bit of affection or education that makes them grow and change, But then afraid of the dark is still an interesting thing. I guess it's talking about growing towards the light, And then you crack up through the pavement in super, super slow motion. Though your back is gently breaking, you reach for the light. Someone appended a George Carlin quote to this verse. I like it when a flower or a little tuft of grass grows through a crack in the concrete. It's so fucking heroic. Anyway, so it's kind of talking here about, you crack up through the pavement in super slow motion. Though your back is gently breaking, you reach for the light. It's about struggling through adversity, struggling through difficult situations. And especially, I feel like you could very much apply this to societal pressures of like the pavement, the concrete is the rigidness of society, and you're growing up through it, and you're kind of being able to express yourself and become who you are through the restrictions of the society you grow up into. Though your back is gently breaking, you reach for the light. You reach towards happiness. No matter what society does to you and breaks your back, you're reaching for the light. That's what you need to do. And then you get the bridge part that I talked about earlier with we can see everything, we can hear everything, repeated a bunch of times. I don't know why it's so affecting, but it is. And then the final part, weakness is not your weakness. La da da, la da da. Yeah. You are what you grow into. You're not what you were. This is the bit that has stuck with me for a long time. I was thinking earlier, because I knew I'd be recording this episode, honestly, a tempting tattoo that I could get, like a Passionflower with these lyrics. But yeah, weakness is not your weakness. People, there's like this whole cultural thing of weakness being bad and to be avoided, but the things they view as weakness are just like empathy, being soft, but sometimes being soft is better. And so weakness is not your weakness is kind of a way I think of saying like the true strength comes from recognizing your weaknesses and being able to work through them. Like it's that thing of bravery is being afraid and doing the thing anyway, right? It's very much that kind of statement, I think. And then you are what you grow into, you're not what you were. I like how the picture the person put on this bit on Genius is a butterfly on a passion flower, because that's a very apt metaphor as well, is that people have used this to refer to trans people. I'm not saying this is a trans message, but when a caterpillar cocoons and turns into a butterfly, you don't think of it as a caterpillar, it's a butterfly. You are what you grow into, you're not what you were, right? And so he's kind of saying like, even if it seems hard now, even if you hate life now, even if you hate yourself now, you're able to change, you're able to affect this, you're able to be in a better situation, you'll be able to become the person you want to be, because that is who you are. You're not what you were. If you have like past shames or whatever, you can grow past them, right? And I really love that lyric. I really like that sentiment, and I wouldn't mind having it permanently inked on my body. So that is going to be the end of this episode, and indeed of this week. Next week is another one of those weeks where it's not specifically themed, but there are specific days where I'm doing specific songs because of like birthdays and stuff, so that's fun. And the week after that, because Paddy's Day is that week, I'll be doing all songs by Irish artists. But next week is unthemed but loosely has some very specific songs in it, so that'll be interesting. Anyway, until then, thank you so much for listening. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below, tell me what you think, tell other people about this show. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Break it down.